This is a tutorial video to help you accomplish Task 3 in Module 5. And if you've been following along, I'm sure most of you have gotten Tasks 1 and 2, which are creating these two columns here, column I and column J. Alright? So this is the new column I and the new column J should have the total hours and total wages, and they should look pretty much like this. You can check your answers. So what we're going to do in this video is work on task 3, which is create a bar graph with 4 columns, which is the total hours, the total work by total workers and bakers, and the total dollars earned by both. Okay. And to start out, I'm going to create the graph area, and so I need some place to sum up all those total hours and total wages. And so what I'm going to do right here is make a total hours box and total wages, just like above. And I'm going to separate it out by till and bakers. So once we get these 4 squares filled in, we'll just highlight these 9 and we'll make a graph, and that'll be pretty easy. But we do need to write formulas so these work. So there's a couple ways to do this, and I'm gonna do it twice. I'm gonna do it just a little differently so you can see really the 2 primary ways you should have learned in this course so far. So what I want to do in this particular cell here, which would be I-12, right? I-12, is to sum up the total hours worked by till workers in the week. All right, and so I'm looking at my till workers. It looks like I've got 5, and I'm just going to really quickly highlight them for you so you can see kind of our target here. So those are our hours worked by till workers, and we want to sum them up. So the easy way to do this is just write a sum formula, right? And that's what that looks like: I3, comma, I4, comma, I7, I7, I8, and I10. Right, and that'll work. So equals sum, open parentheses, all of those numbers separated by commas. Make sure you close parentheses at the end. And you hit enter and it adds them up. And you can really quickly check the math on this. 24 plus 26 is 50. 20 plus 14 is another 34. 50 plus 34 is 84. Plus 17 is 101. So there we go. We're in good shape. It's adding the formula correctly. But you've also learned a sum ifs formula. So I'm going to do the same thing for bakers, but I'm going to use sum ifs. All right, and I'm going to straight write this instead of using the formulas function right here. You can use the insert function. You're welcome to use that. That's probably easier. But I do want you to see what it looks like to write a formula all the way from the start. So I'm going to show you that. And so what I want in this cell, which is I13, is I want the total hours worked by bakers this week. All right, and let me go ahead and re-highlight those for you. So our bakers are George, Hannah, and Nadja, and I'm going to go ahead and make them orange. So what we want Excel to do is add up those 3 squares. Now we could do this really simply with a calculator, but I want you to practice writing formulas. And you could do just like we did here and do sum and just figure out what these cells are and put commas in between. But what if we had a list of 500? That would be really impractical. Alright, and this is what you're going to have to do in your midterm. So take the time to learn it now. And that's to use sum ifs. So equals sum if. Alright, and we only have one if here. If we had multiple ifs, we would use sum ifs. But right here, we just have sum if. And this adds the cell specified by a given condition or criteria. Alright, so what's our criteria? We only want it to add the bakers. Alright, but we're going to highlight all possible cells and then let Excel sort out which ones it should be adding. Alright, so the first thing Excel will want is a range. And the range it's asking for in this sense is the range it wants us to look for the criteria. Alright, so our criteria, whether they're till workers or bakers, is column L. So we're going to look in range L3 to L10. That's where our data is, comma, and then criteria. Now the criteria is baker. When you type in text in Excel criteria formulas, you always want to put it in quotation marks or it won't work. So we'll put baker in quotation marks. And then now we put one more comma and then our sum range. And our sum range is where we want it to look for things to add, and that's going to be column I. So that's I3 to I10. Now again, there's just going to be 3 numbers. We can do this really simply, but if you had a data sheet that had 500 numbers on it, and some were bakers and some were till workers, or there were many different jobs, it's really impractical to go through and try and do it one by one. So that's why this sum ifs formula is really helpful. Alright, and we're going to hit enter here, and that's 74. So let's just quick check to make sure Excel is doing the math right. 20 and 30 is 50, plus another 24 is 74. Alright, good job Excel. Exact same thing here. I'm going to go ahead and redo the highlighting so you guys can see what's going on. But we want to add the total wages for the till workers. Let's go ahead and we're looking at those yellow cells. Like I said, this is the easy way to do it, is to type equals sum, open parentheses, and what are our target cells? They look like J3, J4, J7, J8, and J10. And we close parentheses and hit enter, and Excel sums those up. Again, pretty easy to do. Like I said, easy to do if you have just 7, really hard to do if you have 4,000, which is going to be a realistic business situation for you to encounter. And let's do the bakers the exact other way using the sum if formula. So equals sum if, open parentheses. Again, the range where it will look for the criteria is column L. So that'd be L3 to L10. The criteria is again bakers, and we're going to again make sure we put those in parentheses. And our sum range is column J, and that's going to be J3 through J10. And we'll close our parentheses there. Alright, and here we go. This is pretty simple. And if you've done all this correctly, at this point you can highlight these 9 cells here. That's from H11 to J13. Go on Insert, and column or bar graph. Bar graphs in Excel are sideways, column graphs are vertical. I'm going to choose a column graph and just pick this first one right here. And you'll see our total hours and total wages appear together. Alright, that is how you accomplish task 3. As usual, if you have any questions, please send them to me.